All right, let me open up my other screen here. Cool. All right, so we're supposed to start off the meeting with those topics that I emailed out to you guys. So Forrest, maybe we'll start with you. Which topic did I give you?
Gave me drug abuse, I think it was.
Sweet. Do you mind talking about that for a little bit?
So it was just kind of what it asked for in the prepared, like talking about experiences of that in my life and then how it affects the workplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I guess the one that sticks out most prominent is a couple that I met on my mission. They were both in jail when I got to the area, and they both got out when I got to the area, and we ended up teaching and baptizing them, but they both went to jail for drug abuse and things like that, and um, just the whole family is a real hard situation because they had three kids, and she was pregnant when she got out of went in and got out of jail that last time and things, and the effects go far beyond the workplace. They obviously go into the family, and that messes things up a lot. But in the workplace, they both had lost multiple jobs, and directly from that. And then when we started teaching them, we were helping him find jobs, and it was really hard because the drugs had caused him to have a record, which automatically disqualified him for some jobs, and they also, um, caused him a lot of mental issues where he's definitely not all there anymore and can't um, do the same functions that he was able to before. So that
Yeah.
it severely limits his productivity and how he can contribute to the workforce. We were able to find him a couple of jobs, but they were all manufacturing line jobs where he stood there and pressed the same button all day long. So I mean, the effects of that can go from just inefficiency um, at the moment or losing a job to forever that person becoming less useful and productive.
Hey, Stephanie.
Is there anything else you're looking for that, or
I think that was perfect.
Hi.
Tiffany?
Experience. Could you hear us, Ezekiel?
You
Oh, yeah.
which one did you give me again?
Let me pull up my email.
Yeah.
While I'm looking, did you have anything to kind of add to what Forrest just talked about with like substance abuse or
Oh yeah, I kind
drug?
of, yeah, I read through the article, and it's kind of interesting to see that an outstanding 68% of people that are into like substance abuse are actually being employed. That is quite a large number of the employment force. To think of like 68% of the US employment force actually people that abuse one form of substance or the other.
Yeah,
And I mean, that just kind of make it really difficult to think about, like how the economy has to start like creating this drug-free workplace and making it harder for people to like get jobs because they're addicted to this substance that probably they don't really have a control over anymore. So it's just kind of crazy, and I kind of like the points he made too. So it makes it way difficult for them to function.
awesome. Anything along those lines as well, Stephanie?
Oh, sorry. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Yeah. So Forrest, he was talking about substance abuse in the workplace and how it relates, yes, both employees and employers. You ever had any experience there with substance abuse, employees?
Any experience with substance abuse in my workplace? I don't know why.
Yeah, have you ever seen the effects of that or any thoughts on that?
Not really in my job, but I know about friends that have had this problems. That have had some coworkers that were like addicted to drugs, and well, really their employers didn't know anything about it, and they weren't really interested in it because sometimes um, the company is only interested in how much you produce and what's your productivity and results, and they didn't even care about their personal life. But it affected them little by little, right? And they finally like couldn't do their job right.
Yeah, we had one of our partners actually in the company that we started a couple of years ago. He came on. We brought him on about a year and a half after we started. He was a director of sales over one of our competing companies, so we thought that he'd be a great addition to the team. So we actually brought him on. We invested quite a bit of money in him and trained him and brought him on. And he only lasted with us for like two months. And come to find out, he was an alcoholic, and it was really, really bad. We wasted a ton of money on him. But it's crazy to see someone with so much potential just squander it, because they're addicted to something that they just have no control over anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, Ezekiel, so you had same-sex relationships and how that affects the workplace and employees.
Well, I don't really have like any personal experience about same-sex relationship, and most of the reading we had today, I mean, I read all the reading.
Sure.
It didn't actually specifically talk about same-sex relationship, but I can kind of talk about how, I mean, it's kind of understandable that most university doesn't actually permit display of affection between two people of the same gender while they're on their campus, because they kind of believe that it will interfere with their day-to-day activity. But at the same time, at workplace, it's kind of hard to like, I mean, in a work setting, there should be nothing of sexual how do I any form of display of affection towards other people shouldn't be something that is found at workplace. So I just feel like even same-sex relationship or even other form of relationship is not something that is actually allowed in most companies, because especially with same-sex relationship, it comes with a lot of stigmatization and all that, and it could actually make the workplace kind of uncomfortable for some group of people. I mean, people that doesn't have the tolerance or kind of, yeah, they don't have the understanding of what that is all about. So I just think like several companies try as much as possible to ensure that sexual orientation or whatever is not something that they promote within the organization and stuff like that.
Agreed. Any other comments, guys?
I don't know. I think that there are some things that shouldn't be allowed in general for all people, no matter their sexual orientation. And I think that I'm not sure about how same-sex relationships could affect a working environment, except if there's like these people, both people working at the company, right? Because in general, it's kind of complicated to do that. So even if you're like heterosexual or same-sex attracted, things should be like the same for both, like same rules for both of these people.
Agreed.
And yeah, probably it could be difficult because there's still a lot of people that discriminate them and that could make working environment hard. But other than that, it shouldn't be like so complicated, right?
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like there's a lot of people here who have same sex attraction at the company I work for, and it definitely affects like the HR side of things a lot because rather than just joking with some other guy about something,
Mhm.
now it could turn into some sort of sexual harassment charge claim against you, and it just yeah it definitely makes you have to watch what you say more. And I don't I don't really know that it messes with productivity or anything exactly, but I definitely see where a lot of people are more hesitant to work with other people. So I don't know, maybe that's how it changes things, but it really does. You can see
Hmm.
the effect of some people just feeling uncomfortable and not being willing to work with those people.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you guys touched on it really well. Cool. Stephanie, I guess for you, it was divorce and family issues and how that affects the workplace and employees.
Yes. I was reading a bit about how this affects the workplace, and well, when someone goes through divorce, it's said that they go into depression and it's really hard for them. Only a second place to losing your husband or a child, right? So it's like super strong depression. So sometimes I think that the employers should be aware about the personal life in some sense and know about this divorce situation and help them by referring them to professionals. And it's said that they should probably not give their personal opinion and be very empathetic and listen to them and give some of their time so they don't feel like so alone, but that they should be referred to a professional who knows exactly what to do, because sometimes they tend to look for information in the wrong places and that can lead them to a further depression. So their productivity does decrease a lot, and the company loses money, of course, because they're not producing as they should, and they need some more free time to do the legal papers for divorce, or just because they can even work because of how they feel, right? So family issues, and well, especially divorce, which was what I read about, can be very very tough and a difficult part of a person's life. And I haven't seen that personally in a previous job where I've been, but other family issues, like probably children or probably some other things that demand a lot of time from a person, can affect the overall productivity of the company. And like the managers or supervisors should be aware of that to work with them and solve those issues in the best way for both.
Awesome. Any other thoughts, Ezekiel or Forrest?
I think she pretty much covered all the necessary points. I mean, just don't try to like tell them, "Oh, I've been through it. I know how you feel and all that." Just pretty much direct them to the right place where they can get the necessary resources that will help them. And I mean, it does affect productivity because they are emotionally traumatized. They are also spending a lot. There's a lot of tardies, and they're not showing up at work. So all that also kind of contributes, and it's something that they need to work with HR management. In my opinion, I would suggest people going through divorce should be given at least like 2 weeks, 3 weeks
Yeah.
off while they can go and kind of deal with their emotional issues and kind of try to get over whatever they are going through with some kind of paid vacation or something just to help them. Um,
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Do you have anything else for that point?
No, not really.
Well, the other two rules for Justin and Michael, it was work and home balance, and then one was workplace dating and relationships. I feel like the workplace dating and relationships one was kind of already covered by Ezekiel there with the same-sex relationship. So the work and home balance, I mean, I think, and how that affects the workplace. I guess the one article that we read, it was the one lady that said that whenever people like have more time off, that they're more productive and efficient at work and stuff like that. Like if they're overworked, it's not always a good thing. So I think finding that balance probably is really, really important as a company, finding out, what kind of work schedules and stuff people can work on as efficient as possible. And then how to provide as much, freedom and stuff for their employees, allow them to work from home if possible, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it kind of also drives home the point that it's not everybody that really wants a job that requires telecommuting or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people cannot really handle it, but for certain people, their job pattern and flexibility, they require it. Kind of mentioned that the millennials are actually more into that, trying to achieve that work-home balanced life, and kind of, finding a way to strike a balance between family relationship, personal time, and also being efficient, and which is kind of important because the millennials have grown up seeing their parents kind of working 10 hours, 12 hours a day, and pretty much not being satisfied or even achieving much from their jobs, and their family relationship kind of sucks. And we're just trying to make a difference, even though some people might thought it's another sense of entitlement of the millennials. So that is pretty much what I kind of garnered from the reading.
Yeah,
Awesome. That was a great addition.
I thought it was interesting when they mentioned that, how like millennials are kind of the first generation that actually believes that we can achieve a balance in personal and work life, And I never really thought about it, but they were talking about all the previous generations understood, well, at least, the way they understood work is when you're young, you work hard to prove yourself, and that's your life. And then you're able to, I guess, earn or deserve a more balanced lifestyle as you get older. And I definitely, I guess, kind of have the millennial mindset in that, which I don't claim for a lot of things. But in that I really think that I can make the money that I need to in 8 hours and be able to spend the quality time with my family that I need to. And looking at it, I see that my dad and my grandpa both work a lot more hours than that in order to be able to achieve that. So I don't know. It just there definitely is a different mindset, I feel like, and I think it's a lot more possible because of, like it said, in the media and increased productivity just from technology.
Agreed. Cool. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to add? So it says that if there's any other similar issues that you guys were thinking of that would have, an impact, whether it's direct or indirect, on employees and companies in general, talk about it as a group.
Well, I think you kind of mentioned it. Companies need to carefully analyze the time that employees can put in, like certain employees, like a data entry employees and all that, they can actually telecommute and still be able to see, while certain people like a direct factory worker or someone in that kind of range might not be able to do that. So companies need to look through and see how they can actually start approaching that kind of life balance I mean, workplace and life balance relationship instead of just putting it in their benefits in a more or less effective way, I would say, you know.
Agreed.
I think that human resources, like management, has to think a lot about how important it is that the employees feel good, and they can feel good when they have a balance between the work and their personal life, which involves their family, their religion, and a lot of other stuff. So I think if I feel that the like is like they want me to feel good, I will be more motivated, I will be more creative, I will be in a better mood, which will improve my relationship with my coworkers. And right now, like millennials are looking for to enjoy their lives like right now if they can, like to spend time with their families. And before, people, I think they thought about like saving a lot of money and then enjoying their lives when they're older. But now I think the trend it is that we have enough time to do what we like to do, which can be hobbies or whatever, um, in our free time, and not like being all day at work that we don't get to do anything we want to do, only probably on Saturdays. So I think that's like a really important thing that human resource management has to look after now, like nowadays, more than ever. And about other issues, I really can't think about something else right now. But yeah.
Awesome. That was great. Thanks, Stephanie. Well, the last thing it says here to discuss is that, or is to ask you guys, how do you think the workplace will change in the next 10 years?
I think it was talking about uh being untethered or whatever from being able to use technology, not having to sit at a desk. Just that freedom. I think it's going to become more and more like that at yeah, an increasing rate. People are going to have the opportunity and ability to do their work on their phone, on their computer, from just whatever, and maybe during their commute they can start work as some people ride a bus or a train or whatever to work. They're able to start the work day and finish it on the bus, so that there's less time in an office.
Yeah, that's a good point. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I also think like with the trend in automation and all that technological development, there'll be several jobs that won't actually be available anymore because people will have to be trained to be able to do some functions that are that might have been replaced by computer technology and all that, and more people will be able to effectively work from home and earn a good living. But it's just like before the World Wide Web, how you need to go out and shop for your Adidas and all that. But now with the web stores, you can just pretty much stay in your room and buy wherever you want to buy, and it's deliverable to your house. So automation, technology, and all that would actually displace a lot of people from work, but at the same time create more skills that are different from what we're kind of used to right now.
Agreed. I think we touched on this a little earlier too, but like with the same-sex attraction and all that kind of stuff, and it seems like we're constantly changing like the morals and what's okay and what's not okay and what's acceptable and what's not. So I think that's going to continue to change, and we're going to need to learn how to deal with in the workplace, the best, most ethical way to interact with people of different values and beliefs and what than we have, and so how to work together and not let that become an obstacle is going to be really important. I think it's going to only intensify over the next 10 years as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of tolerance because we all have different views on things and just like respect those things, right? And I think it's also going to be like more open offices, like what we were reading earlier. So just go into a place more friendly, plug your laptop, probably work there. Right now, I have a job that I can do from my house, from my home, and it's it's nice because I get to be here, but still I get distracted a lot. So I think a place that is not so formal as a like an office and so quiet and serious, but something like more friendly probably in the next 10 years.
Awesome. Great. Cool. Well, I think that kind of concludes, unless you guys have some other thoughts, maybe we can move on to our doohickey assignment.
Let's move on.
All right.
Yep.
So the doohickey assignment, Ezekiel and I have our parts in there. I think I read over yours, Ezekiel. I think it looks great. If anybody else wants to read over it and pass, judgment, that's great too. But I think it looks awesome. So I guess Stephanie, if you could do your part in the next couple days or whatever, and then
Yes.
we'll have Mike do the conclusion. He'll do the which problem is the most important, and do a little
Sorry,
paragraph about that.
what
What's that?
topic did you do, Ezekiel?
I think I have it opened here.
He had
Just
layoffs and dismissing employees.
Okay, so I get
yes,
to workplace and society,
Yes,
which is what we're
yeah.
doing this week.
correct. Yeah, this week's discussion.
Cool. Okay.
And then you might want to add more citations. I kind of put like 2 of my citations there. So try
Hmm.
and because I think she commented again on our last paper that we should add more citations and all that. So which I mean, she wanted us to do a little bit of more research. So just kind of so the best way to do it, just look up an article on Google Scholar, and then you can easily find a citation that matches what you are talking about. So just read like the abstracts from that reading, so you can kind of understand and then put some of those abstracts in your writing, and then you can be able to cite it. That kind of make it easier for me to get citations. Um, yeah, I think pretty much. I think we are doing great. Would this be the last minute meeting, by the way?
I think so.
Is anyone aware? Do you know if this is our last meeting?
What was that? This is the last meeting. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This is the last one.
It's been an awesome semester with you guys.
Yeah, you guys have all been great. It's been awesome working with you.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you guys. This is my last semester and then I get my degree. Yay, finally.
Me too.
Oh wow.
So excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, I think so. Then after that, after you're done, I guess we'll pass it off to Michael. Have him do number 4, and then Justin and Forrest will go through and do the proofreading. And Forrest, do you want to just go ahead and submit it after you're done?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Cool. Well, if we can, I mean, I guess it's not due until next Tuesday. Like that's the deadline, but if we could do it this weekend, that'd be nice and just have it done.
Yeah, please, let's have it. Well, I'll do mine. Probably, I don't know if today, but tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
does
So as soon as
anyone?
you're done, as soon as you're done with your
Okay.
part, if you can email everyone and tell them. I think Michael's next. So if you could just mention to Michael that he needs to pick one problem that he thinks is the most important and do an article about it.
Yeah, okay, I'll get an email. I think we need less words this time or more words.
Yeah, we don't need as many words. It's only
Just I
20.
think we just 2,300 or 800 about that. So not that much.
Yay.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think I wrote about 600 or 700 words, and
Okay, I'll
I
do
think
something like that.
yeah.
That'll be great. Awesome, guys. Well, it's been fun, and I'll post this video, and we're good to go.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank
Talk to
you
you.
guys.
Yeah, good semester. Thanks for all the work, guys.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.